older than his little boy back there. All my life I was raised in church. My dad raised all 5 of his kids in church. The number one church that I was raised in most of my life was Griffin First Assembly. In 2004, we stopped going there and we started going to another church. I won't name the church. It's nothing, got nothing against that church, you know. But I became friends with somebody, or I thought I was friends with somebody. And 2 years later, I wound up in prison. 17 years old. Well, I wound up in jail. Sat in jail for 14 months, pleading, praying, because I was falsely accused of what I went to prison for. But that's beside the point. You know, my testimony of what God brought me through starts in prison. But I prayed and prayed and prayed. Watched my grandmother go through cancer while I was in jail. You know, I thank God she's still here today. She's fixing to celebrate her 72nd birthday, or her 70th birthday, thank God. Because my grandpa just celebrated his 72nd birthday yesterday. But, so I went to prison, and I got mad at God. And I would go to church. I do play the church thing, you know, like every other inmate did, you know. Like Brother Earl talked about chain gang religion. I had chain gang religion. I didn't know God like I know God today. But I was mad, you know. How could God let somebody like me go to prison? And in 2009 was when I started my journey of walking away from God. Started getting tattoos. That was my first one. I don't like it today, you know, because ever since God turned my life around, it's like, why did I get that? But I let Satan, you know, because God gives us choice to choose life or death.
That's right.
In 2009, I chose to walk away from God. And I started living an alternate lifestyle. For 3 years, I was caught up in the lifestyle of homosexuality. And I would have all the real Christians. There's real men of God in prison. Brother Earl knows, Johnny knows. There's real men of God in prison. I mean, I've met the most powerful men of God I've met are in prison. But I would have them come to me, and because they've known me my whole entire sentence. I did 7 years, but they all knew me, you know. And they would come to me and they would say, Nathan, you know, God loves you. You know, this is not the life that God has chose you to live. And in the beginning of 2012, I just stopped living the lifestyle, but I didn't fully, like he said, I didn't fully surrender back to God. But I wasn't living the lifestyle no more. And I started going back to church, because I'd quit going to church for a while. I started going back to church, and October the 14th of 2012, Pastor Bernard Miller of the church at Griffin, they meet in the old Holiday Inn over here, came and did a water baptism service, and there were 30 men that signed up to get baptized. And them 30 men got baptized, and it was around 8 o'clock that night, and we didn't have to leave the gym to go back to our dorms till 8:30, so we had 30 minutes to spare. And the chaplain and Pastor Bernard gave an invitation. And they said, if there's anybody else out there that feels that you need to be up here in this water, the pool's open. I saw 2 of my buddies who were gang members, but were also living that same lifestyle, get up and go up there. And then a buddy of mine was standing behind me, and he grabbed me by my shoulder. And he said, Nathan, he said, you need to be up there in that water. And I started saying no. I started wrestling with God, because he can tell you, when I was 7 years old, I got baptized at Griffin First Assembly. You know, I thought I didn't need to get baptized again. So I started wrestling with God, and I said, no, I'm not going up there. I'm not going up there. I kept saying it, I'm not going up there. And all of a sudden, it's like God grabbed my esophagus. And I mean, that's how I felt. I felt like God grabbed my esophagus. I couldn't breathe. And all I heard was the voice of God say, son, your healing and your deliverance is in that water. Go. So right there and there, I had no other choice but to surrender. And I got curious. In December 2012, I decided to go to medical because most people that live that lifestyle catch some kind of disease. Matter of fact, 90% of them. So I decided to go to medical and have my blood drawn because I wanted to know. I wanted to know what was in my blood. And in February of 2013, I got my blood results back. And I look at this thing almost every day, and I just thank God. It was only through His grace and His mercy that this paper right here says my blood is clean.
Amen. Thank you.
And I got out in November of last year. 3 months after I got a job. Then I got another job. But about a month and a half ago, one of my best friends, she had called me. And yeah, I'm gonna pick on you, baby. I'm gonna pick on you. One of my best friends had called me, and she asked me if I was still single. And we've been best friends for a long time. And she asked me if I was still single, and I said, yeah, I am. And so she told me about this girl. And all I kept telling myself was, I gotta meet her, I gotta meet her, I gotta meet her. 2 weeks before I met her, I was on the front row at First Assembly, and Brother Tom over there and Brother Scott were behind me praying. And while they were praying, don't scratch your head, Tom, I'm talking about you. While they were praying, something in my spirit told me to turn around and pray with them. So I did. And God spoke to Brother Tom. And God said, Nathan, I'm fixing to send you something that I've equipped you for. Something that you're ready for. He said, I'm fixing to send you a woman that's going to love you regardless of what you've been through. And 2 weeks later, I'd been texting her because I had her number. But 2 weeks later, that young lady right there texted me back. And just 3 days after I haven't even met her yet. We were just talking on the phone. 3 days after just talking to her, I felt comfortable opening up to her. And I did. I shared my whole everything I just shared with you, I shared with her. And we're getting married. And I really, really thank God for that opportunity, but I also thank God for the opportunity to be a part of Second Chance Ministries. I met Johnny in Kairos in 2011. I'm not trying to take up too much time, I promise. But I met Johnny in 2011.
Are you in Kairos, the Catholic Kairos?
Well, the Catholics started Kairos, yes, but it's a prison ministry.
Okay.
And I had went through my Kairos experience in 2008, long before I even started living for the devil. But when I got to Central in 2011, I went to the Kairos reunion. This is where I met Johnny. And I remember Johnny saying then, I have a vision for a ministry. And back then, that's all it was a vision. And we prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it. When I got November, me and Cheryl, my adopted mama, we were coming out, me and her and Kayla are coming out of Walmart. And Johnny and Christy are coming out of Walmart. And I told Cheryl, I said, Mom, I know that guy. And she's like, that's Johnny and Christy. And I went up to him and I asked him, how's your vision? And he handed me a card that said Second Chance Ministry on it. And now, I thank God for the opportunity to be a part of that ministry because it allows me the opportunity to do stuff like this right here. And all I can say is God has been so good. Now, for 17 years, like I said, my birth mother left when I was 3. Got hooked on drugs, crack, you name it, she's done it. She's probably doing it right now. I don't know. It's been 21, almost 22 years. But for 17 years, we had not heard from any of her family. Well, a month and a half ago, might have been a little bit less than that, I had got a post from my sister on Facebook that she had got a friend request from a Dale Gessel. Now, my pawpaw's name is Delmar Gessel. That's my mom's father. And we had been looking for them since I'd been home from prison. And on she commented on it. She said, if this is my brother playing tricks on me, this is not funny. So, sure enough, I had to get on there and find out what was going on. There was my pawpaw, 2 of my mom's sisters, and 2 of my mom's nieces and 1 of my mom's nephews. Haven't made contact with her yet. And I say yet for a reason, because in 2007, when I was still in the county jail, God told me that I was going to see her again. God told me I was going to be able to share with my mother the love that God had shared with me. That's why I thank you for sharing testimony, because I've envisioned my birth mother standing here doing the same thing. And with that, I mean, God gets all the glory.